Have you ever just stopped and thought about the absolute miracle of human movement? That incredible dance of bones and muscles that lets us run, jump, throw, anything really. Well, today we're going to break down the amazing mechanics happening inside our bodies every single second. Just look at this. A soccer player leaping for a header. It's this one moment of pure, explosive power, perfect timing, and pinpoint accuracy. We see these kinds of moments in sports all the time. And honestly, they look almost effortless. But underneath it all, there's a biological masterpiece at work.
So that's really our big question, isn't it? How does all of this actually come together? How do we go from just a thought, like, I'm going to kick that ball, to a perfectly executed, powerful action? Well, it all starts with the foundation.
And that foundation, that's our skeletal system. The best way to think about it is like the ultimate scaffolding. It's the rigid internal framework that absolutely everything else is built on. But its job is way more complex than just, holding us up.
I mean, our skeleton's job description is just incredible. It's not just protecting vital organs like our brain and heart, it's also a factory for blood cells and a storage locker for crucial minerals. And most importantly, for what we're talking about today, it's the anchor for our muscles. It's what makes movement possible in the first place.
And of course, not all bones are created equal. They're specialized for their job. You've got long bones in your arm that act as powerful levers. You've got short bones in your wrist that give you stability and fine control. Flat bones, like your sternum, are basically shields. And then you have these irregular bones, like your vertebrae, with all their weird and wonderful shapes for very specific jobs. It really is a perfect example of form following function.
Okay, so a rigid frame is a great start, but it can't move on its own, right? For that, we need connection points. We need joints. And these are the true architects of all our movement. Right. So this is where the magic happens. A synovial joint, that's the spot where our rigid skeleton suddenly becomes this dynamic, incredible machine that's capable of a huge range of motion.
And you can think of these different joints as different tools in a toolkit. You've got a hinge joint in your elbow that gives you that simple but powerful back and forth motion for, say, a throw-in. Then you've got a ball and socket joint in your shoulder, which allows for that massive 360-degree range of motion you need to bowl a cricket ball. Then there are pivot joints for rotation and even condyloid joints in the wrist for that quick, snappy action in tennis. You can see it so clearly right here, that powerful, circular motion of the shoulder in a swim stroke compared to the complex, snappy flick of the wrist in a tennis swing. Different joints, different sports, different results. It's all about having the right tool for the job.
Okay, so we've got the frame and we've got the hinges, but what provides the force? What's the engine that makes anything actually move? Well, for that, we need to talk about our muscular engine.
And here it is, the power source, our muscles. They're attached to our bones, and when they contract, they pull. Now, listen closely, because this is the most important detail. Muscles only pull. They can't push. That one simple fact is the secret to everything else we're about to discuss. Because think about it, if a muscle can only pull a bone in one direction, how do you ever move it back? How do you get controlled, smooth movement instead of just a jerky twitch? Well, the answer is teamwork. And that brings us to the core concept here. This is the aha moment. It's the elegant solution our bodies evolved for controlled motion, and I like to call it the perfect partnership. The whole idea is so simple, it's genius. For every muscle that pulls a bone one way, there's another muscle on the opposite side that's ready to pull it back. They work in opposition to each other, kind of like a biological tug-of-war that you are always in complete control of. So in any given movement, you've got two main players. You have the agonist, that's the prime mover. It's the muscle that contracts to actually create the action. At the exact same time, its partner, the antagonist, has to do the total opposite. It has to relax, lengthen, and just get out of the way to allow that movement to happen smoothly. It's a perfectly synchronized dance.
Let's go back to our football kick and see it in action. Step 1, the preparation. As you swing your leg back, your hamstrings are the agonist. They're contracting to bend the knee. Your quadriceps on the front of your thigh are the antagonist. They're relaxing to let it happen. Okay, now, step 2. The strike. The roles completely flip. Your quadriceps become the agonist, contracting powerfully to straighten the leg, while your hamstrings now relax and become the antagonist. That is the partnership in action.
So let's just quickly recap the whole story. The skeleton is our frame.
Joints are the hubs, the hinges that allow for motion. Muscles are the engines that provide the pulling force. And the real secret to smooth, controlled movement is that these muscles almost always work together in these opposing pairs.
So the next time you pick up a cup of coffee, or walk up a flight of stairs, or even just wave hello to someone, take a second to think about that incredible, silent partnership of agonist and antagonist muscles making it all possible. It's an amazing machine, isn't it? Thanks for tuning in.